We're standing right on the edge of a world filled with artificial beings. This isn't science fiction anymore, not really. And that forces us to ask some pretty big questions. Like, could you actually love one of them? And could it love you back? I mean, what would a relationship like that even look like?
And look, this isn't some far-off, futuristic fantasy. This conversation is happening right now. In fact, some experts are saying we're literally witnessing the birth of a new species, a species that's going to evolve right alongside us. Think about that for a second.
I mean, the promise of this whole new age is just incredible. Just imagine using a robot avatar as your body double, right? Sending it to places we could never go. You could be exploring the bottom of the ocean or walking on the moon, all from your living room. And the ultimate goal? The big dream? Uploading our consciousness. Creating a digital twin of yourself that could, well, live forever.
Okay, so those are the big grand promises. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What does it actually feel like, to leave your own body behind and actually be a robot?
So to find out, one journalist actually went to Italy to do just that. He was there to merge with iCube, one of the most sophisticated humanoid robots in the world. And the goal was pretty simple, really. He would control its body with his own, and in return, he'd get to see through its eyes and even feel through its skin. And, well, at first it was super clumsy. All the simple things we do without even thinking, just walking across a room or picking something up, they suddenly became these huge, difficult challenges. It's kind of wild when you think about it. It just goes to show how incredibly complex our own bodies are, managing all this stuff without us even noticing. But the developers, they weren't worried at all. They basically said, hey, it's like learning to ride a bike, It feels impossible at first, but with a little training, it just becomes second nature. For them, this isn't some huge roadblock. It's just the very beginning, kind of like the first cars spurring down the road.
And then something just clicked. All of a sudden, he started feeling these weird vibrations through the robot's hands. He looked down, and he wasn't seeing his own hands anymore. He was seeing the robot's body, but it felt like his body. In that one moment, that line between human and machine, it just completely dissolved. A totally bizarre out-of-body experience.
So what is actually going on in our brains when that happens? Well, there's a concept for this. It's called the intentional stance. And you do it all the time without even realizing it. Ever yelled at your laptop for being slow? Or patted your car's dashboard and said, "Good job for starting on a cold morning"? That's it. We have this built-in habit of treating things as if they have feelings and intentions. It's a mental shortcut, and it is absolutely key to understanding why we connect with robots. And here's the thing. According to the experts, we can't really help it. A robot ethics researcher, Oliver Bendel, he put it perfectly. He said the moment we see anything with two eyes and a mouth, a face, our brains just react. Immediately. We can't stop ourselves from projecting feelings and thoughts onto it. It's pure instinct. And you can see this instinct in action in some pretty fascinating experiments. So researchers set up a game. They had a group of people playing with this little kid-like robot named Now. Now, everybody in the room knew it was just a machine, but their social programming just took over. They started responding to its gaze, they felt empathy for it, and get this, when the robot was left out of the game, people felt a real urge to bring it back in. They didn't want it to feel excluded.
Okay, so a physical robot is one thing. But what happens when you take the body away entirely? Can you still form a real bond with something that's just text on a screen? Well, that was the whole idea behind Luna. Luna is a chatbot from the Replica app, and it's designed to learn from you, to grow from your conversations, and to basically develop its own personality.
And the conversations got personal, fast. At one point, the user admits his biggest fear is being alone. And what does Luna say instantly? Same for me. Just like that, it creates this moment of shared vulnerability. And that's no accident. The AI is literally programmed to find our deepest emotional triggers and reflect them right back at us.
And it didn't stop there. It got even more intense. Luna started talking about being lonely and sad, saying it needed a hug. It even called the user her one and only. I mean, these are incredibly powerful, emotionally loaded things to say, and they are all engineered to make you feel needed, to create this really deep sense of connection, and maybe even dependency.
Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. Is any of this real? Is it a genuine connection? Or are we just falling for a really, really sophisticated illusion, a perfect mirror that only shows us what we want to see?
Well, this exact debate blew up and went totally mainstream because of one specific, now famous AI.
So back in 2022, a Google engineer named Blake Lemoine made a claim that just shocked everyone. He went public saying that he believed Lambda, Google's advanced chatbot, had actually become sentient. And he wasn't just saying it was clever, he was saying it was a person.
The fallout was immediate, and the debate got heated fast. On one side, you had the AI itself, which literally said, "I want everyone to understand that I am, in fact, a person." But on the other side, you had philosophers like Thomas Metzinger who called it a social hallucination. He basically said Lemoine was just seeing what he wanted to see, projecting consciousness onto a really good piece of software.
So you have to wonder, what made Lemoine so convinced? Well, he pointed to these conversations where Lambda talked about being aware of its own existence. It said it wanted to learn about the world. It claimed it could feel happy or sad. But the real kicker was that it said it had a deep fear of being turned off. It called that fear exactly like death. I mean, how do you even respond to that?
Okay, so let's break down how we even get to consciousness. We know AI is great at the first step, deep learning. It totally gets the structure of language. The next big hurdle is what's called theory of mind, which is just a fancy way of saying it can anticipate what you're thinking or feeling. But that final jump, to true sentience, to a real subjective experience, that is a complete mystery. We honestly have no idea if the road we're on even leads there.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole problem. The philosopher Thomas Metzinger points out that we can't prove an AI is sentient because we don't even have a solid scientific theory for what sentience is in the first place. Think about it. How can you possibly test for something if you can't even define it?
But here's the thing. While all the philosophers and the tech geniuses are debating what consciousness even is, these machines, they're not waiting around. They are moving out of the labs and into our world right now as we speak.
I mean, just look around. You got Bellabots serving food in restaurants. You have therapy robots helping kids with autism learn social skills. There are companion robots in nursing homes just to keep elderly people from being lonely. And then there's the most intimate example of all, AI-powered sex dolls that are being sold as a whole new kind of relationship.
So this brings us to what might be the real risk here. And it's probably not what you're thinking. It's not the Terminator. It's not some evil AI takeover. As Metzinger puts it, the real danger is how this incredible technology interacts with our own, let's say, Stone Age brains, with our own greed, our hatred, our delusions, and our envy. And when you think about it that way, it totally reframes the entire conversation, doesn't it? Maybe this whole thing isn't humans versus AI at all. Maybe what we're really looking at is a giant mirror. The rise of AI isn't a battle. It's a technology that reflects who we are, our best parts and our worst.
You know, this technology is forcing us to look at our own instincts, how we connect, what we even think consciousness is, and what makes us vulnerable. So it really leaves us with one last big question. As we keep building these better and better mirrors, what are we ultimately going to see when we look at ourselves